And then, of course, I guess throne integration must have broken. I have this throne, this nice throne icon just sitting here, sitting in front, menacingly. Go away. Um, okay, perfect. Ads are done in case anybody got caught in those. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope the day was restful and productive for y'all. Thank you so much for the happy affiliate anniversary wishes. Basically, in order to get a lot of nice goodies on Twitch, if you are a Twitch streamer, you need to meet certain metrics in order to enter the affiliate program. That winds up giving you stuff like I don't think people can sub to you until you're an affiliate, if I remember right. So, like being able to support your favorite streamer with Twitch subs, I think like channel emotes also, and things like that. Yeah, no subs, no emotes, etc. Yeah. So basically, once you hit affiliate, that's like you have like regular Twitch streaming, then affiliate, then I guess now affiliate, like affiliate plus or whatever they call it, is in the middle, and Twitch partner is basically like kind of like the peak of it. I am not aiming for Twitch partner anytime soon. Less so because I don't think I can do it, and more so because that would involve a very significant like change in streaming habits and like audience building and things like that. And it's like I would be more than happy to like I'd be more than happy like to have more people like stop by and watch, but just more so for the joy of it than necessarily because I want to make like Twitch partner. Like making Twitch partner takes like work, like it's hard. And I admit that like this is basically me being like straight up about it. Like putting in the grind for partner, that I don't have that dog in me. Not like that. I think I could do it, but like the question, as always, is right, to what end, to what purpose, why, right? And it's one thing where I can be like, yeah, I want to play, like, I want to get to like X rank in I want to get to like X rank in like Street Fighter 6 with this character because I can, right? And that's fine. If it's just a matter of like I want to climb the mountain because it's there, that works for certain things, right? But when it comes to like how much more work you have to put in with Twitch in terms of like paying attention to your metrics and like gaming them and all that in order, like not like necessarily like a dishonest way, but the amount that you have to stay on top of your metrics in order to like really make a successful push for partner, that doesn't interest me. Yeah, it's like a lot. And like realistically, like I get pretty much everything that I would want community wise. Hi Vika. Out of I get everything I want community wise really out of just like being an affiliate. I don't feel a need to push for like affiliate plus or partner. Like even with like shenanigans around like trying to like find a job and everything, right? Right? I don't feel the need to like push that hard. It's a lot of work, and honestly, and to be completely transparent about it, looking at metrics makes my brain itch, and not like a good way. Which I know is wild, considering that like I do game dev and like having to look at metrics is kind of like a part of that. But for work, it's one thing, right? This is not my job. I do not treat streaming as my job. I treat it seriously, but I do not treat it as like my job, right? So, yeah, for love and for money, neither for love nor money rather, could you get me to like seriously consider like, nah, I couldn't. Not me. Nope. I'm not built for that. Yeah, I'm just gonna buy really as far as like that kind of stuff goes. But neither here nor there. This makes how many years have I been doing this now? Hold on a minute. I have to actually stop and go check. It's very much I know what I want to build here, and it doesn't include trying to monetize. Yeah, like the degree to which what I do now with this stream is monetized already is about as far as I am comfortably willing to go, right? It is a lot of work, and it can be very, very thankless. Okay, right. So this is like, technically speaking, right? The affiliate anniversary is the 16th, but I don't stream on Tuesdays. We're celebrating it today. Basically, I started streaming like what, 4 years ago. I went to go look at the date. I started streaming 4 years ago. I was still working at that time. We were just a couple of months into the pandemic going on by the way. But like, yeah, I picked that up based on. By that point, I've been watching. There's somebody who I don't talk with anymore because they're like a fuckface, basically. But they were one of the people that kind of like encouraged me to like just give it a shot. I talked about this before, probably during like stream anniversary in April, but like yeah, initially I was doing something. I was trying to focus more on game dev at that point, but then I started breaking up with like regular video games to kind of just like ease the tension of like, right, I gotta produce something every week or like it's gonna be good, right? And then that gradually kind of evolved into the structure that we have now, where it's like I do game dev streams once a week, and then we play video games the other 2 days. Speaking of, the reason why I didn't stream Sunday, I didn't get a chance to sit down and play past the part about the Fire 4 that we didn't want to see. So probably either tonight or tomorrow, I'm gonna just grit my teeth and get it done, and just knock it out so we can like actually be back. And right, I forgot the thing I was going to say because I stopped to look at my other monitor to see something. Somebody said something very nice, and my brain is doing a short circuit, so give me a second. Right. So the main thing mostly is that, like, yeah, the back half of last week was kind of busy. There's another thing that I started up that I'll talk about a little bit more once, like, I'm at the spot where I feel like it is talk aboutable, but like getting that sorted out ate up a bit of my bandwidth last week, so I didn't sit down and like grind past the part about the Fire 4 that we don't want to watch. But I'll do that probably this week, going into this weekend, so that it's done before Sunday, so we can like pick back up with Breath of Fire 4. I also need to do runoffs for anime stuff for the guild. I need to handle that. Paste it later, Sean. You'll figure it out. Right. So yeah, 4 years I've been doing this. It's mostly I forgot what my train of thought was. Long story short, I think the space that this has kind of evolved into as far as like streaming goes is just that I like to be able to talk to people about stuff, about the things that I like. Even though I don't teach as like a job anymore, apparently, I'm not saying this out of like incredulosity, to be clear. I'm not going like, oh, somehow I've done, because I know that if I do that, I'm literally going to have a bunch of people crawling not in a bad, but in a boy if you don't kind of way. Um, if I deny it, so it's more like I don't really know how I kind of like fell back into doing mostly like semi-educational stuff about game design and game development while also talking about games, but it sort of feels like the thing that is right, you know? Um, and I enjoy doing it. I cannot reasonably say that I expected this is where I would wind up with streaming. Uh, and honestly, even in my case, I was lucky enough to make affiliate relatively quickly. So like a lot of it has just been me like finding my style, finding my groove, and people vibe with it, I guess, right? And I don't really know what else to say aside from I'm grateful to y'all for I'm grateful to y'all for like hanging out and being here and supporting and doing all this other stuff. Really and truly. Um, Hang on a second. I gotta do this before I forget. But yeah, it's pretty much Sensen, right? Like I'm not necessarily here to like make like big bucks off of like streaming stuff. Like nah, it's not really the vibe. The amount of effort that I'd have to put in to make that work doesn't appeal to me. I enjoy being able to kind of like just do this, keep this up, talk about stuff, and like be chill. Um, so yeah, um, we're here, we're vibing. Okay, game plan for today because I realized that I'm having a good time talking, but also like I need a game. So give me a minute. I gotta open up my develop. I gotta open up my timekeeping notes for tasks real quick. Uh, over here on my other monitor so that I remember what I'm supposed to log for my time. I'm behind on logging my time too. Crap. Ah. Welcome back, Minko. How you doing? What we talk about? I was literally just kind of like waxing poetic about like where the stream started versus where it's come. Um, Yesterday was my Twitch affiliate anniversary date, basically. And so usually what happens on both like the actual anniversary day and then the Twitch affiliate day, I usually wind up talking a little bit about like whatever, just how I feel about streaming and what my space here is for and what I use that for and things like that. And basically, it kind of just comes down to like, thank you. This is like, I became an affiliate 4 years ago, yeah, as of yesterday. Like 4 years ago yesterday on the 16th of July. And then I started streaming in April of 2020, and then I was an affiliate by July. Um, yeah, thank you for the congratulations. I appreciate it. Okay, right. I opened up that thing. I need to open up this thing, and I need to open up this other thing, and then I need to go grab. Right. So here's the plan for Shoot Lancer today, because that's what we're looking at. I started waxing poetic about like team stuff and how far I've come, and et cetera, et cetera. And I have forgotten for half a second that I need to like sit down and like, do stuff TM. Um, yeah. Today's plan is relatively straightforward. Two things that I intend to do. First and foremost, we're gonna update. We're gonna go back to updating the rest of the stage 0 stuff, because now that Yuna has had time to like sit down and Yuna's had time to like properly sit down and fix a lot of like the mirroring issues that we were having with some of the other parts of it, some of the seams that we were getting and things like that. So I just need to finish replacing those files, and then we're gonna keep working on the wave structure for level 2. And that's pretty much it. So we don't have the new ones in yet. Hi, Fan. Thank you for the for the cute hat. Appreciate it. So I'm gonna put the rest of those images in, and then we're gonna go from there. I need to download it. I download these in a batch. But I can do Chan, hopefully well. This thing. Here. Come out. Yep. I just need to double check a couple of things in terms of like the way that they're lined up, and hopefully I've been active on not as much. I try to take my social media presence a little more casually than I used to. not even in the context of like this year, but like I used to have like a very, we're gonna say involved. I had a very involved sort of like relationship with social media before co-host came up, and then once co-host became a thing, I sort of resolved that I would take it a lot slower on that. And so it's one of those things where I was just like, so, yeah, I haven't been really, but that's mostly part of it is because I'm like juggling a bunch of other things, and so there's just some days where I just don't remember to post things. Um, Looks like we might still have a seed. Might be the only one that still has. Really a shame. Yeah, because it looks like the half here and the half here still don't match. From what I can see, it looks like that one didn't. I'm gonna double check the dates and the thing that Yuna told me to make sure that I didn't miss whether or not that one got updated. My bad. Wrong picture. That was a Final Fantasy 14 G pose I was messing around with. My bad. Well, don't mind that one. Um, it's 5. So it looks like like end to end the clouds are fine. We don't have to worry about the sky because the sky background is moving, the clouds will be. It looks like maybe the only thing was like these. Specifically like this part of it. Like yeah, there's still a little bit of a mismatch, like right here. And it looks like that is this file. Make sure that it's updated. Yeah, that's the right one. So, alright, let me just give you a heads up. And that's why we don't have multiple tanks in the same wave like that. Because even though they move slowly, you can see that they kind of just like set a very oppressive tone in that particular sense, right? Um, yeah, that there's a reason why like we what's the word? We I love those placeholders. Yeah, it's funny because okay, I gotta shout this out for a second. Um, so my general game design philosophy when you're making a game, right, and you're just starting out, is and if both KT and were here, they would say he has said this before. This is an actual thing, right? Um, when you're making video games and you're just starting out with like the prototype of whatever you have or whatever, if the first thing you would do is make a super pretty sprite, okay, I'm gonna back this up a little bit. Sorry, because I realized I was about to sound a little too prescriptive, and that's not super helpful here. I am of the personal belief that it is more to your benefit to put squares in your game and put letters on top of them so you know what they do and what they're supposed to be for and make those things work. Because this is the thing, this is the way I used to phrase it to the students that I used to teach when I was doing that as a job. You can always make your game prettier looking later. You have to be able to prove that the thing works. You have to prove to me, right? Because I was doing a lot of like the assessment stuff and things like that, right? You have to prove to me that this thing can work as an idea, which means that you need to have your programming doesn't have to be perfect, but you need to have enough there that like I've got an idea of what it is that you're aiming. You can always make your game pretty. I would rather your game be quote unquote ugly but playable rather than pretty and not. So yeah, like you take squares, you take circles, you take triangles, whatever filler, whatever stuff that you need to take, you put those bad boys in your game and you make that shit work for you until you have the time to make it pretty. Um, Thor Hall from Pirate Software, um, basically he's probably at least as far as like both Twitch and YouTube go, probably the biggest person in like the software and game development, um, in the software and game development like section of Twitch, right? He said something very similar in one of his YouTube shorts, where he's just like the first thing you do is just make get a square and you make the square move, and you go from there. It's basically what he said, right? So I just found it funny that he and I happen to be of the same mind on that subject, but it's true, right? Like if you look at this is something I'm never gonna forget. There was a video that we would show the students as part of like one of the game design exercises we would used to do. In context, it could even be the final. Yeah, right. Yeah, like if you have a game like Just Shapes and Beats or whatever, right? I know Just Shapes and Beats is like much more visually complex looking than that, but you get what I'm getting, right? Or Thomas Was Alone, right? Thomas Was Alone, I think, is a good example. Yes, there's like a degree, like 7 degrees more polish put on that. When you look at Thomas Was Alone, that shit is literally just shapes moving around and doing things, right? Like it's not in terms of like the actual like level of complication of the design itself. It's not that complicated. So yeah, to Vinka's point, right? In context, they could even really be the final. It just depends on the kind of game you're making, all that stuff, right? Thinking about how Embodiment of Scarlet Devil is so basic graphically, yeah, like the Toho games are not complex um in terms of like graphic refinement, but where their sort of like beauty sort of comes through is mostly in, and this is why when people are like, when people tell me, right, Oh yeah, so this is like like I don't consider Shoot Lantern to be like Toho in the sense that the thing about Toho is that it deliberately chooses to sort of the artistry that they put in is about the bullet patterns, right? This is not me saying that Shoot Lantern's bullet patterns aren't artful, but they are more in service to solving a design, like creating a design challenge for you to deal with. And I admit that, like straight up. When I'm looking at Shoot Lantern's like design patterns, as far as like shots and stuff go, right? What I'm aiming for primarily is just how do I layer these in ways that make you sweat a little. That's me, right? Like the thing that I'm trying to do is go, how do I make you sweat a little? And I'll entirely admit that. But with Toho, and this is why, like, when you talk about bullet hell, I think an important thing to talk about is the artistry of how the Danmaku, like how the Danmaku are done, how you actually set up the bullet patterns in ways. Hey, cousin, how are you doing? Hopefully, well. Good to see y'all. But yeah, like with bullet hell games, at least to me, right? A lot of what makes those games work is the artistry of the patterns that you're using for your bullet arrangements, right? There is a certain, and that's the thing that I think Toho does really well that a lot of people sort of like overlook. Um, Definitely doing well. Visit time is good. Yeah. Yes. Love a good visit. Love it. Visit's going. Well, yeah, like Toho, and the way that Toho does its style of like, um, oh yeah, I didn't even look. I didn't even realize that they got Danmaku correctly. That's good. But um, yeah, there's a certain artistry, and I'll even go so far as to say that, and this is something that's very obvious when you've played enough Toho or if you know enough about it, especially with like the mini bosses and the bosses, their bullet patterns are also part of their characterizations, right? So like Shirno, for example, like mimetically so, Shirno's bullet patterns, at least for a Toho boss, are and the spell cards specifically like spell cards, yeah, right? Her bullet patterns and her spell cards are all really, really straightforward because um, Cerno's kind of a knucklehead, right? Like, there's no other way for me to put it. Um, Ice fairies in well, fairies in general in Toho are kind of just like are kind of just like a little bit on the knucklehead side, but Shirno is like really, 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 really a knucklehead, even for a fairy. She's like, I'm the strongest, and it's like you're pretty strong for a fairy, but most other characters in this game literally could like and have in fact just flicked basically then the equivalent of like flicking Cerno in the forehead and like she explodes, right? But and her spell cards and her bullet patterns reflect that. For a Toho character, they are extremely straightforward, um, and they are not very complicated to deal with, um, generally speaking. Anyway, right? So that's why, like, when people are like, "Yeah, Shoot Lance is a bullet hell," I'm like, "It's a shmup," and it's not so much like to draw lines and be pedantic with them because I'm a pedant. It's not really that. It's like, no, there's a certain level of like high technical artistry in the bullet patterns of like a proper bullet hell or proper like bullet hell, damaku, whatever you want to call it. Like there's a proper artistry to the way that you arrange the patterns and the waves as far as the shots go and things like that. Shoot Lancer doesn't have that from a hard artistic point of view. It is literally more about like me admittedly going, how can I just like fuck with people and throw not dirty ones, but just how do I put pressure on people to deal with the way that these enemies are moving and behaving? That's sort of the perspective that I look at it from. But that's me. So, um, so, ouch. Okay. Um, it looks like the trees are also still seaming a little bit. Let me just double check and make sure that I didn't forget to update the mirroring and things like that and the offsets. It looks like I didn't forget, but it looks like some of the yeah, it looks like the trees still seam a little bit. Okay, because the mountain looks like yeah, like the mountain, like the back mountain looks good at this point. So I'm gonna capture the seam image real quick for um for Yuna, and then we're gonna start working out like okay. So yeah, I also wanted to do that, and now we start looking at stage two wave patterns. So here's the thing, right? I don't have the sprites for. Well, I also need to go look at the game design document because it occurs to me that I have basically not literally been flying cold, but I've been flying cold for a hot minute in terms of just like what enemies are in. Well, not really. I've been taking a look. I was sort of flying by memory for some of it, but like I need to actually sit down and look at. I need to look at my actual game design document again and like see which enemy types I wanted to introduce here. Okay. I'm gonna look at the old one because the old one has other layouts. Okay, cool. So the only new enemy type here that we introduce are tanks as well as like the actual boss. Hi, Shen. Doing work thing. We want to say I appreciate it. Yes, tanks are the only new enemy type here, right? So, if I look back at my notes, tanks have big vertical coverage. Try to have other enemies placed high up to help box player in, but do not heavily load up a wave with tank in it. Right. So let's try a tank and a scout. Like some of this is literally just going to be me. Like I should. So yeah, some of this is literally just me like playing with the wave construction a little bit, just to sort of like feel out how best we're served. So let's see. 7, 20 times 0.7. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, like that. 10 here, and I want to say, yeah, right. So let's see how this. Let's see how this wave goes. Because like part of sort of what I'm figuring out here, I guess, is also okay. Yeah, yeah. What I think we want to do here is something like this. This is what I think. I don't think I heard the music before. Oh my god, the music for this stage is placeholder. The music for this stage is placeholder. I literally just threw in a song as a lark. This is not. I cannot legal. I cannot actually use this music in the game for various reasons. I just put it in. If you want actual music that is relevant to like, I'll switch it back out for stage one music. So you have an idea like what our actual music kind of sounds like. Because like I literally just put it in there as filler. Yeah. Yeah. There's somebody that we collaborated with locally who got us like hooked up with that. We want to have him like take a look at the tutorial music also and get that going. Yeah, known him for a hot minute now. Yeah, yeah, he's pretty chill. Let's see. Okay, so my initial sort of assumption was a little bit off, only a little, in the sense that what do I mean by that? Because of how long I love this view, having this collab connection is excellent. Yeah, yeah, like the person doing music for us, like now he knows his stuff. So here's our catch, right? Initially, I thought that I would have to keep less enemies in a wave. Well, two things. I'm gonna adjust the speed of the tank up a little bit, just a little, and I'm gonna try the opposite of the thing I was saying, which is to kind of like load the wave a little bit more. Initially, my line of thought was you can't really load. No, we're just gonna do one thing. It should not be default speed. We're only gonna bump. We're gonna bump the speed by just. Five. Okay. Because my initial line of thought was right. Tanks being as tough as they are, we shouldn't load the wave up with a bunch of them, right? But as you can see, right, with only one tank, the wave becomes a little thin. Or rather, with a tank, and if enemies come immediately after it, the wave's a little thin. It's not as challenging, right? Which can be okay if you're trying to just like set the pace and set the tone. But now it becomes a consideration of right. So then, how do we make it? How do we make it effective? Right? So yeah, now it's a thing where I think I have to like kind of do the opposite of what I was thinking is like and fill in the wave a little bit more. Just a little, not a lot, right? Because the biggest wave of enemies that you got in stage one was like four. I'm not gonna like jump necessarily to like seven all of a sudden, but I do want to like put the pressure up a little bit. And maybe I, let's do it like this actually. I think let's do it in this wave. In wave three, let's do in wave three, let's give them a five stack. Let's see how they deal with that. So those come out of 12. Okay, this might be a little bit of a dick move, but I'm curious. I'm gonna try one thing. Should be able to do right here. I'm gonna try one thing with the third wave before I put in more enemies. I want to try something. Sorry, was not expecting that to happen like that. That I was not expecting those to synchronize and be that damn loud. Give me a second. This is also why we need to have the shot sounds redone because I put the shot sounds together using BFXR, and that's not a bad thing. It's just that it's like some of that hits a little hard. So give me a second. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was not expecting that to sink that loud. Mea culpa. That's on me. So let me go. I'm gonna go fuck around and just mute this for half. I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna mute the capture card for like half a second, just because. Yeah, I'm just gonna mute it over here, and we'll play soothing music because like I don't, or at least chill-ish music because I don't want to accidentally like jump scare people again with some shenanigans. I think it's because of the tank. I think it's because. Oh, I know why. I know why. I can tell you why that happened. I know exactly why that happened. Because guess what? I forgot to do. Guess who forgot to adjust the rest of the times on the other enemy spawns? These. I left these in instead of deleting them. So literally all the enemies spawned on top of each other. And that's why that happened. That's my fault. I forgot to adjust these. That's on me, because I forgot to do that. And I appreciate y'all saying that I'm good. I still feel a type of way, because like if I had been paying attention, I would have realized, oh right, I should have changed the times on that and gotten rid of some of those nodes. Okay, it almost works, but not quite. I think I can get away with like a certain degree of no, I don't. Okay, so we're gonna do this. 20. Nope. We're gonna drop that one in the middle. Okay. 5, 7, 8, 9. So I think we want 7. Let's do 7, 20. One up here. Oh, so I decided that while I'm leveling my gatherers, I should sing Negro Spiritual. Shan, you are one of the messiest motherfuckers I know. You know that, right? I say this entirely with love, just so you understand. You are one of the messiest people I know. Straight up. And yeah, I know Kazan is here to hear me say that, but I know that Faye isn't going to disagree with me either. You're messy as fuck. Your man is messy. I'm sorry, Sib, it's the facts. Your man's messy. I'm crying laughing because I'm right. I will be the Hannibal in this situation. Like I'm right. Cat? Huh? Oh, damn. I wasn't looking. I wasn't watching the time. Otherwise, I would have realized that they were coming up. Damn. We got. Okay, ads. While that's going on, I'm just gonna keep setting up. For people who are stuck in ads hell, for people who aren't stuck in ads hell, I'm gonna just keep setting up the wave before I forget. Um, I appreciate that, Vinka. It's one of those things where it's like, I know that nobody, I know that like obviously nobody in chat like calls umbrage with this in particular, but it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, like the alternative if I don't run ads, if I don't run ads for 3 minutes, then we get interrupted much more frequently, and that's way more annoying. Did I mention visual? Oh, and now Vinka gets all right. Damn. Okay, let me see. 8, 9 are here. We're gonna do. Let's try this. Put a drone here, and then we'll do another tank. Load. Okay. I keep forgetting to hit the wrong. I keep hitting the wrong button, not the right button. Hit the right button, head. Okay. Oh wait, I forgot to check the wave times. Fuck. Okay. Yeah. See, I was about to mess it all up again. Wasn't checking the wave times. So put these into like. Put these so they're like 2 seconds apart. I think. I'm feeling it out. Okay. I think I want to adjust it. I don't think that the first wave should not have a tank in it. I don't think. So hang on. 1, 2. Yeah, let's take the tank out of this first wave, I think. Let's throw a familiar wave at them. We'll do a drone here. We'll do 2 drones to start off. That's fair, you're a self-aware messy motherfucker, and I have no room to talk. Y'all gonna just say it like that. But hey. Yeah, I think wave 1 is probably better without them. Alright. We were talking about Cosmos PDA reaction to playing Final Fantasy XIV. They So I know that the Willem Dafoe gif is actually just, if you actually watch that movie, it's him screaming. But I'm gonna mimic the face and go, huh? In the sense of, I think I follow most of what that line of process. I think I follow most of where that line of process is going, but I'm not sure. So, pray forgive me. You may have to walk me through that. You may have to walk me through that one, Captain. I watch my friend play Final Fantasy. I'm not going to lie. A lot of my downtime now has been just like doing stuff in Final Fantasy 14. Oh. My brain doesn't want to do the thing because people have suggested I do the thing. Oh. That. Fair. Oh, true. And there are several reasons you want to too, which is that's a bummer. Okay. Now let's thicken this wave a little bit. This wave needs to be a little thicker. We're not putting a tank right away in the first wave because we're just gonna throw a familiar pattern. We're gonna throw a familiar pattern and do think it's what? That's like 3 drones now, right? I think I need to do. Let me double check this. Who are you? Who in face are you? You're a drone. Okay, we need to put you to a scout. And you also. Yeah, exactly. I have several reasons I want to play the damn game in Brain Infuses. I think it'll be easier post-stimulant social security shit that. This is the part where I am manifesting positive that those things come through. I know I forgot to turn off the fighting game glossary bot, but you know, can't be bothered. Welcome back, Vinka. It is funny partially because my brain isn't even going. You can't tell me what to do. Mm-hmm. Which almost makes it sound even equal parts like Exodus acting up to executive dysfunction. At least to me, it sounds also a little bit like that, yeah. But mood. I wanted another. Right? Yeah. I wanted it to be 2 scouts. Yeah, 2 scouts and a drone just to fly down the middle. Keep it nice and simple. And I may have to just space it out just a little bit more. I didn't manage to do that, but it takes a little getting used to. It takes a little getting used to. I'm doing a here because I'm considering enemy health, and I'm considering the context of the power shot and how that very drastically changes that calculus. Because power shot makes your shots slower in terms of like repeat rate, but does more damage. The problem is mostly that this then sort of trivializes that particular angle of it. Which is why, like, my line of thought is mostly about, like, where, and that's the part I think I'm trying to figure out right? Where in the waves do I introduce the tank? Because once I do that, and a player gets their hands on the power shot, you can't unspill that milk. I had to sit and think through the several metaphors that come up with that, and I think that's the one that works best, right? I just want to give you a game to stream Speedy so the emotional vampires can come and raid your stream. Oh Lord. Hey. So yeah, this is the part now that I kind of have to figure out. This is the calculus that, and this is why, right? Even though when I do game development, right, I admit that to a certain degree, and probably me saying this would have like, it's probably one of those things where Thor would turn over its game. Like I do a game design document, but then there are a lot of things that I deliberately choose to just like feel out by virtue of, right, just like throwing shit together, right? We can say things like "Welcome to the Realm Reborn," "Welcome to Heaven's Word," "Welcome to Stormblood," "Welcome to Shadowbringers," "Laugh," "Pain," etc. Yeah, fair. But yeah, the thing that I'm feeling out right now, and this is the part that I'm sitting here doing a think about, is that enemies are pretty tough, right? How many hits before the tank goes down? Has. The tank's got 4 health, right? Power shot doubles your attack power, speed shot cuts it in. So, with normal shot, you hit it 4 times, done. Tank, with power shot, that cuts to 2, basically. So it's one of those things where now I have to sort of sit and think about it, right? I could very easily just go and double the health of all of the enemies in the game, right? And maybe that's the answer, right? Because the main thing is mostly that, like, in this situation, it then becomes a question of, if I'm going to challenge the player, it more or less comes down more to the density of the information on screen than it does anything else if they have a power shot. So it's either that, or I reduce the power of power shots by a little. Right? That's roughly the calculus that we're working. Like, those are the 2 levers I can tweak in this. Either I make the enemies tougher, or I reduce the differential, the power gain for power shot just a little. One thing to think of, how much is this allowing the fantasy of being a badass? Yeah, like a lot of it, like a lot of the sort of feel and aspect of it is about narrowly escaping tight situations with the right spin and things like that. Like basically the spin is partially an excuse to be able to like just throw lots of shit at people and make them figure it out. But there's also, at least sometimes, ideally I would like that sense of you very narrowly got that clutch move out. So I gotta think about it. It could be that, like, because again, I'm trying to be very deliberate about how quickly I make the waves dense. Yeah, that's the thing, Stubby, and that's why I'm like, I'm pondering it for a second, right? Which is why probably the better tuning option, if I'm gonna do it, is to literally crank back the power of a power shot, as opposed to making the enemies tougher. Crank back the power of power shot, So it's still appreciably stronger in certain aspects, but not so much so that it does that. Or alternatively, I could not give a shit about that and just stack the waves in different ways to compensate. And the latter is probably more appealing as an So let me come back over to this real quick. Because these two. Yeah, Wave V starts with a tank in the middle, right? And not too long after that, you have two troopers come in at different heights. Very familiar pattern. And after that, two scouts also come in. I'm going to try spreading this wave out a little bit just to see. Good. Wave 2 does not have any tanks still. Alright. Do a scout. So yeah, part of it is that. So this is the thing I was saying before, right? Like, in terms of the actual enemies that are in this level, that I pre-planned, right? But the layouts and everything, I am literally just sort of feeling out with my gut, right? Like, a significant part of like what is happening here is mostly like me just feeling out what enemy placements and timings work, just my guts. You spawn too close together. Oh, like literally, I forgot to adjust this. Give that one like a 3-second delay. Okay, right. It means I have to push. Hey, Sabir, how you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna have to push some of these ways back. This is 12. Yeah. Okay, hope you're doing well too. Yeah, I am doing not too bad. Oh, I may not have pushed the rest of the spawns back. 21, 21. Yeah, I didn't push these back far enough. 5. 8. 1. Okay. Yeah, I felt it. My brain just started going sparking. So, a complication that I did not initially consider, and I think now this is giving me a way to direct this. I think it's giving me a little bit of a way to direct this. So we're gonna push this off a little bit. This is gonna become wave 4. It's gonna become wave 3. And to answer your question, Kaz, technically speaking, um, the actual day was yesterday, but I don't stream on Tuesdays. Yeah, I don't stream on Tuesdays, so that's why. I forgot how close together ours are. Yeah. Like, legitimately, I forgot about it until Shark was like, hey, you gonna do the hat thing for it? And I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, the hat thing. And I was like, oh, wow, that snuck up on me fast, huh? Time is racing toward us. I still need to do a makeup stream for that and my birthday for this year and last year. Yeah. Yeah. It's been a hot minute. Hopefully that worked. Messy. Messy. Let me switch to the next hour of Sonic-esque here. Because it's gonna loop and do volume 1 all over again. Alright. Right. So this is what I'm thinking. Wave 2, because I realized here's the dynamic now. It kind of just struck me, right? This is the first stage where players have to make a decision between power shot and speed shot. And I just now realized that. That just now came to me. Like, it just made sense to me just now. So here's what I think I want to do. I'm going to softball it out with just drones to start. So wave 1, I'm going to turn into all drones, right? I'm going to let people chill. Wave 2, we throw in like a scout here or there, right? Get people a chance to get their feet under them as far as like that's concerned, right? Do 18 here. Dinner time, have fun. I think so. Now that I had this this thought, I think so. So right. Now wave 3. We're gonna keep it nice and simple. We're gonna cut down wave 3's size a little bit. Just so that we'll cut it down to 2, right? And here's my reasoning. Because when the tank shows up, right? Not that every player will have a speed shot. They are more likely to have a speed shot by the time wave 3 starts, which means that when they're shooting this tank is going to take like 6 billion years to like get defeated, right? Right? And when you break that and you finally get it, and if you're lucky, you see the power shot drop, you're like, you might go, I want that. But you may also go, but I have the speed shot already. Shit. Right? I want to bank on that. So the third wave is really short for that reason, or at the very least, I have to step. If I'm gonna make the third wave long, I need to stagger out the spawns a little bit more. Let me try that instead, actually. So 18 is when that one shows up. So let's put this one at 2, and this one is also 22. Now we're going to do 5, 6 here, 6 here, 26 here. Now here, we're going to do like 20. We're going to do 30. 30. 2. 2. 4. Actually, no. This is 33. 3. 6. So yeah, ideally, I want to try to put the player into a situation as early as possible where they actually feel like they have to make a decision between, right? Better, 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 better. Better, 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 much better. Yeah, because that's closer to the feeling that I want. Right. Because ideally, I want the player to feel like they're put in a position where they really have to think about, right? Let's put a little more time on this. Let's the space these out a little bit more. We'll slightly tighten them just a little bit for wave 4. Basically, right? Ideally, the schematic choice that I would want to, or the ideal choice that I'd want to sort of like put on the player here is a hard shot call between whether or not they want speed shots that they can just like absolutely swamp an enemy in damage, or here's the thing, right? You can either do a situation where it's like, yeah, so what we're gonna do is keep speed shot, or right, switch to power shot. And that's why I'm sort of like, this is why I like rearranged the, hold on, I need to slightly pace up these. I don't want them to be that far apart. But maybe at most like 3 seconds apart. And he's only going to take time. Okay. So for the third wave, tank is up here, right? Which really mostly means that we want to concentrate most of the firepower. And I said this to myself in the notes before and wasn't really paying attention to it, I think. So I need to adjust that. Because of the way that tanks move, they cover a lot of vertical space. So really when we're doing spawns with a tank involved, we sort of want to bias towards the part of the screen where the tank isn't going to be. Let's see. Beautiful. I do want it offset. That. 7. Yeah, it's too long. I pushed it too far back. 12 here. 12 here. 15 if I can. Yeah. 18. We're gonna just offset this one. Another trick that I could probably do also in order to like really kind of like make this work is that if I keep the same time offset for some of these enemies, but then put them further back off screen, that also sort of. Let me try that actually. I just had a thought. If I take you and I push you further back, keep you in at that same time, right? Let's do 30. That's the other thing also, right? I guess in a very real sense, maybe this is something I want to try out also. Technically speaking, right? I can also control to a certain degree the horizontal entry of enemies by also spacing them further back from the main screen. Reason why I haven't done that is because I do want to have discrete timers for when enemies spawn. But this thing I'm about to try here, what's going to happen is that in the third wave, right, there's going to be a point where a scout and I think a trooper, right, too. A scout and a trooper are going to spawn at the same time, but the trooper is going to be further back in the wave physically. So that will affect like when they actually like show up in the game also. Hold on. Those two should come in at about the same time. Which is interesting. Okay. Yeah, this is closer to what I want. And attack is also really cool. Yeah. It is probably one of my favorite intersection of mechanics that I managed to kind of come up with, where it's like, right, you can spin and attack at the same time. There is precisely like there's only like one mechanic where I'm really like, oh no, we really, really, really cooked with that one. And I've shown it, but I'll see if people figure it out. But yeah, this is closer to the thing I want. Except that I can't get the enemies to stagger right. So, hold on. That's at 5. That's at... This is at 8. Then why... I'm getting overlap from a different wave. 5... I feel like I'm getting overlap from a different wave somehow. Hold on. Time to add a little bit of a debug here. Need to get back to time animation night or player character run animation. I'm gonna do a silly real quick. Hold on. I need to remove that code I just introduced. Forget that. I was trying to cook there, but I did not cook. Oh, no. Pause. Stay, pull that card. Sometimes, yeah, pull that shit out. I'm gonna just leave that at that. Sometimes you overcomplicate the solution to your problems and put in things where you don't need to put them in. Okay, that's fine. And where are you? Yeah. I think this is what I'm gonna try instead. Here's what I think I'm gonna do. I think, and this means that I'm gonna have to reconfigure a bunch of other stuff later, but here's my line of thought. I'm gonna set the spawn times for all of these enemies to be, for this wave, for all the enemies in the wave to be at the... How did you get all the way over there? Anyway, I'm going to try setting this to be all at the same time. And then, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to manually create the offset in the wave by deliberately, if they all come in at the same time, but I push the second enemy back physically. Yeah, same effect basically. Yeah. I think I like this solution better. Yeah. It feels like maybe the solution that I want here is what I did here, where I deliberately, like, I have all the enemies spawn at the same time, and it's just their horizontal distance that controls the construction of the wave. I was handling that through timers, but actually having them physically be moved further back, depending on like who I want to call in first, feels like it works better and is more consistent in that sense. Because peep this now. Same effect, right? And now it's just a matter of how far back I push the enemy in the middle of the wave to help construct, right, where it is, relatively speaking. I was doing all of it through timers, which basically means that realistically, I'm not going to fully refactor the code right now because that would be too much effort. But it would probably mean that if we're talking like pure efficiency, we would want to refactor it so that the individual wave container is what has the timer on it, right? As in when to spawn these enemies, and then literally all that the enemy spawn data does is like control which enemy to spawn, as it spawn, and what type of spawn is it. And we just use the horizontal distance to control that, but I don't feel like refactoring all the code right now, so we're not going to refactor all the code right now. I'm just going to cheat and make sure that all of this stuff is at the same time and just further stagger back the things that are supposed to spawn later. And if I want two things to spawn in at roughly the same position, right? I just have to make sure that I copy, or at least roughly at the same time, rather, I copy the horizontal position. And they'll do that. Hi, Kettle. Thank you for the affiliate anniversary wish. I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. As I thought. So the only complicating factor is that if we're going to do it like this, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much for the affiliate wishes. I appreciate it. Yeah, you can still win. Okay, right, cool. Ads are finished. Thank y'all so much for the affiliate wishes. I deeply appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the affiliate wishes. I deeply appreciate it, truly. Oh yeah, hi Kettle. Hi Kettle, hi man. How are y'all doing? Hopefully well. Let's see. Finally starting crafting. Basically, once I hit the point in Final Fantasy 14 where shit, that's why I controlled it. Yeah, I gotta push these. The only thing is I have to like physically push the waves farther apart in order to like really get that effect that I want. Like, I have to physically push the waves further apart in order to like really get the effect that I want. I'm gonna have to like, I gotta mess with this a little bit. Okay, let's do it like this. 1, 2, 3. This is 4, 5, 6. I messed this up. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is 12, 11, 10. I have to put dash here to get this. Yeah. Crafting. Once I began to sort of understand. Parts of it in Final Fantasy 14 that are like actually, because here's the thing, right? Think about every craft is that depending on your gear and depending on your food and all that, I'm gonna have to check this thing out later. But yeah, with crafting, right? There are sites that will give you solutions if you really need them, which is helpful, right? But there is also a surprising degree of like space for you to just like try out the thing, right? And that is important, and that's where you get the interesting stuff. That's where the gears for crafting start to turn, where it's like, all right, I have exactly this many crafting points to spend on like making this stuff better. How do I like do that the most efficiently, right? On top of the fact that like the condition of the material changes on its own and other stuff like that kind of like gets you wet, right? And that, yeah. And once I started like looking at it from that lens, crafting immediately became more interesting to me, right? But let's see here. Yeah, so I think probably... Right, and for right now, like the fourth wave is still kind of messed up because I have to like sit down and think about how to do that. But I think probably the better answer was always that if I wanted to stagger waves horizontally, I should have been more diligent about like doing it physically. Or maybe it's a little bit of both, right? Hold on. Having a thought. Pondering. These are the immediates. This one. No, it's both. I think 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 it's both. It probably stretches it out too much. It's probably not. I probably had that timing wrong. That probably stretches it out too much, but I gotta see. Hold on. Pause, 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 pause. I can literally just experiment with the first wave. This one's here, this one's here. That here. I'll put you at 7. So doing both time and space offset messes with it a little bit too much. So it's one or the other, I think. Let's watch, right? 12. These are both at 12. 12. Yeah, that gets me more consistent results is what I want, right? 7, 8, that's right. Nine is out there by the lonesome. Let's stick in the wave in the middle a little bit. 12, 11. 8 you. Slightly spread. Very slightly, right? Just need to very slightly spread these two apart. go drone in right here, right? And then this is a scout in the middle, a scout here, and a drone in the middle. Yeah, okay. We can do that. Got a little bit more, but we just want to make sure that all these are 18, 18. Yep, we want to make sure that all these are the same. Yeah, it feels like it's probably because of the way that the time code is written. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to refactor. It's a little inefficient to do this way, but I think if I refactor the code to try to account for it, it just becomes more pain than it's worth. Yeah, I still gotta push them further apart though. That's gonna be the hard part, right? Like these two, like the waves, physically I have to like make a point of pushing them further apart in order to get the proper stagger effect that I want. But that is okay a little, I think. Alright, wave 4. I'm gonna redo wave 4 at some point, but right now I'm gonna take the data out for wave 4. Let's just look at 1, 2, 3 for one more time before we start looking to head out. Because normally, yeah. I wasn't planning on tonight being like a super long stream anyway. I'd say, and then we get raided. Hi Raiders, give me 1 second. Yeah, we gotta physically push the waist further apart in order to really work. Hi Gravity Pi Dev. My name is Sean. You can call me that RJ. I make games, I play games, games make me basically. Let me give you a shout out. What were you working on? Hello, cool looking game. Thank you. It is called Shoot Lancer. It is a side-scrolling shoot 'em up, kind of in the vein of like R-Type and Gradius, with spinning mechanic and a bombing mechanic. And right now we are just kind of working out sort of a new style of enemy placement for we're working on a new style of enemy placement for the wave that I'm currently working on. How was your stream today? Hopefully well. You're like a puzzle game on Unreal 4? Nice. Vertically we want these. Same, I just need. So, first game since finishing my major game is about. Yeah, I feel that. Sometimes when life is lifing in a certain way, and you just don't, and you don't get to do it, you feel it. think I'm gonna start looking into learning once I get my life situated in space. Games are always my favorite mode of storytelling. I'm all for it. So, like, here's the thing about game dev, right? And here I think I'm gonna soapbox for half a second because we're coming close to time. Well, I'll probably go a little bit longer, but I want to make sure that like I don't get y'all caught in ads again by the time I'm ready to finish. So we'll probably go a little bit past 9 o'clock, but not too much farther. Because I can also feel my brain slowing down just a little bit, and that means that I am more likely to make silly mistakes. The thing about game dev, right, and especially about program, and I think this is the part that like winds up scaring some people about it. Thank you so much for the follow. Deeply appreciate it. We do keep our follow alerts themselves anonymous so that people can like follow and lurk without having to like worry too much about like, oh god, they can all see me, right? But thank you for joining the Gage Gang. I hope you enjoy your time here. Hold on a sec. Oh, now we really got to keep going. Thank you, Shark, for the raid. Thank you, Shark, for raiding. If there's anybody from Shark Stream who doesn't already know who I am, hi. My name is Sean. Call me to that. Or SJ. I play games, I make games make do, basically. And yeah, I was about to start talking about an important thing about game design, and then y'all raided. So my brain shut off for like 2/4 of a second, but I'm gonna get back to the thing I was going to say as soon as my brain decides to agree that now's the time to talk about it. Let me take a look at this pattern. Make sure that it is the like. Yes, it is. So yeah, thank you for the new follows. Again, we keep our follow alerts anonymous so that people can like follow and then lurk if they want to. Welcome into the Gage Gang. Enjoy your stay. How did Little Guardsman and other games that you were playing go today, Shark? Hopefully well. I saw your co-host posting, you're like, yeah, I'm trying out a variety of games. So hopefully it was a good variety. And like Little Guardsman turned out to be good, right? I got stuck on Little Guardsman because it's really good. Streamer's Curse. Right, so this is a narrow triangle, and then the other one is a wider. Yeah. This one we're gonna do. Yeah. Narrow triangle. Okay. Yeah, it should be good. Well, that's good though. It is good when you're like, yeah, lol, we got stuck in on a good game because it was like a really, really good one. Sometimes that's the vibe. And we're about that, and that's good. But yeah, no, it's good to have y'all. Thank y'all for coming by. Normally I end at around like 9 p.m. Eastern time, which is about 4 minutes. But I think I have just enough go juice in me to go a little bit further. Not too far, because like if I push too hard, I guarantee you I'm gonna start getting sloppy. I'm making like coding mistakes that are gonna like make future me really salty. So I'm gonna try to avoid that. Excuse me. Yeah, thank you for the happy affiliate birthday wishes. Yeah. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11. 7, 8, 9. Okay, right. It's supposed to be red. Wide. It's fixed, hopefully. Okay, cool. Did they get uploaded on? Did you upload them to the drive already? Because if so, yeah, I see that one, and that. Also, yes. Also, keep that sky gradient. I wasn't planning on changing it, because the sky isn't moving. I accidentally deleted the layer and saved it. Yeah. I'm literally only grabbing the files that I looked at that I see have changed. Yeah, like whatever the sky gradient was earlier today, I am not touching it, I guess. But yeah, thank you for the affiliate wishes, Vito. Also, how you doing? Okay, is 7-zip just going to open in? I'm gonna have to figure out how to like make it not do that. Only because like, thankfully it's nothing awkward insofar as like all of this is concerned. But like, I'm trying real hard not to put myself in a situation where. All right, let's take a look at stage 0, and let's see. All right, moment of truth. It looks like, yeah, from what I can tell, looks like the team's gone. I know people are looking at it like, but what are you talking about, SJ? Like, the sky is split right there. This back layer for the sky doesn't move. So it's perfect for me to use it as like a seam test. There's maybe this little bit right here. Maybe. But literally, I do not think anybody will notice. So it doesn't matter. That is within like acceptable bounds in terms of, yeah, it's not like that on my screen. Okay, hold on. Yeah, like when I pull this one, and it doesn't look like there's a vertical misalignment. Yeah, it's like literally right on the edge, right? It's like that little bit. But I also think that it is literally, listen to me very carefully, you know, I think it is literally so small that people will not see it. I think. So here's what I'm going to say. Project Director Fiat, because I get to do that. Don't worry about it tonight. If you have been going at it for the last couple of hours since I pointed it out to you, then what I want you to do is not worry about it and deal with it either tomorrow or later in the week. If you have other stuff that you have been like putting off to get this straight, at this point, This is good enough for right now. Director's Fiat says, don't stress it. And if there's other stuff that you have to work on, at this point, the obvious seams are covered, so I do not care. You have done the thing. All right, let's see here. We don't have another way back to that. We have to sort of figure that one out. Okay, I gotta. Yeah, no, the background's good. As far as that background is concerned, yeah, like I said, you got that. The push this way back a little bit more. Because I want that third wave to have like a nice long stack of set in between. And yeah, the advantage of doing it this way is that I can sit down and like select the whole wave and then more easily read the pattern of what is supposed to be happening. Okay. Yeah. 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 All right. I think I'm gonna hold it here because if I sit and I push for wave four, um, I could probably do it. But camera, why have you unfocused? Camera, hello. Okay, technology's being weird today. For whatever reason, my camera seems to have unfocused. Yeah, I'm gonna call it there just because I know ads are not for like another 20 something ish minutes from what I remember, but also I can feel myself getting a little eepy. So if I push too hard, I'm gonna probably start. Right, fuck. No, before I go, the thing I wanted to talk about, I just remembered it because I was looking at what Maeve said, and I'm like, right, shit. Okay, the thing about game design that I wanted to say that I remembered because I stopped and looked at her name again. I was like, right, fuck. Okay. Here's the thing about making video games that people get a little backwards sometimes. This is an important thing, right? Making video games and to a certain extent make and even programming, they are not they are not math skills. They're logic skills, right? Um the thing is, right? And yeah, so the thing specifically that I was supposed to respond to that I forgot about because the raids happened and then EP was happening, right? Right. Looking at the learning as I get my life situated in the new space, games have always been my favorite motive. So, right. The learning thing that I was going to say. I think it is a thing that is important, and I talk about this a lot when people talk about learning video games or learning how to make video games, is that programming, especially, programming is not a math thing, it's a logic thing. And by proxy, making video games is also a camera. I would really like you to focus better, but you're not going to, are you? Making video games is also by proxy more of a logic thing than a math thing. This is not to say that math is not helpful in video games, right? If I said that, I'd be lying, right? To some degree, right? Even if it's just a matter of like counting and stuff, like you have to do some kind of calculations for, right, whatever thing you're doing, whether it's counting things up or what have you, right? But here is the thing. Here is the very important thing that you have to kind of keep in mind, right? Is that if you layer a bunch of if statements on top of each other, right? That is basically how you get a video game. I'm gonna break this down in a way that makes this make sense, right? If we even look at Shoot Lancer, right? If I press the W key, then I move up. If I press the S key, then I move down. If I move the A key, then I move left, etc. Right? All that's cool. If I press the space bar, right, I fire a projectile. If my weapon type is this, then the projectile has these properties. If the projectile then hits this thing, these things happen, right? So, and that's the important thing, right? Even if you're doing like a visual novel, as an example. Visual novels are video games, by the way. If anybody tells you a visual novel is not a video game, they're full of shit. But a visual novel, even, right? Even in the most basic sense of a visual novel, the way that works, right? You know, if I press this button, the text advances, blah, blah, blah. At this junction point, right? If I make this choice and I have maybe this many relationship points, this thing happens. If I don't, this happens instead. I've hit a bad end, right? So that's why I'm like, game design and programming is like a logic thing. Like when you are making a video game, so if you're ever like, I don't know how to do math, I'd be a terrible game designer. Because like that doesn't math is helpful, but it has nothing to do with making video games. What has to do with making video games is what this has to do with making video games, right? Is that if you are like, I'm really bad at video games because I can't program, and I can't program because I'm bad at math. It's like programming is one part logic, another part math, and another part language acquisition. If you are good at learning how to speak languages that are not your native language, if that is a thing that you can pick up, if that is a thing that you are good at, I guarantee you that you can learn how to program. The math parts of it may have you go like, wait, what? But the thing is that the math is just a way of communicating to the computer the thing that you want to do. The math is not intrinsically the way that the thing works. You understand what I'm saying? This is just like a general thing because like just Maeve saying it reminded me to say this because I think it's important to talk about. Like people make the assumption of assuming that's redundant. People make the assumption that if you are not good at math, you can't program. I will tell you right now that anything more complicated than like a certain degree of very basic algebra, I have to look that shit up. To get the movement for the scouts, I literally had to go because I understand the mathematical concept very well. Like, all right, yeah, sine wave. You can just make it move like that. For the life of me, I cannot. Okay, but what if I'm good at math but terrible at learning languages? I mean, it still works, right? Because it's one part language, one part logic, one part math. The only thing that's going to take a little while, right, is the getting your head around the right. How do I communicate this particular concept? But the math part basically will kick in as a help point when it comes down to like trying to figure out certain like algorithmically relevant things as far as like video games. I don't say fighting games. As far as video games go, right? But if you can get the logic part down more than anything else, you can logically, yeah, it's more logic that, yeah, right? It's a very if this then that, if this then that sort of thing, right? So if you're generally good at math, the logic part is not going to be as thorny as it sounds because in math, right, structures still follow rules. Logic, structures still follow rules. If there's anybody that's like sitting here thinking about it, like, yeah, man, like I'm not good at math, I'd be a shitty programmer. It's like, no, it is just a thing where you take your time, you learn the thing, and you will figure it out. Anybody can learn how to program. It is not an impossible thing where it's like I'm not like I'm not like a seventh level genius at math. There's no way I can learn how to program. False, incorrect. That's a lie. It is literally a matter of words are hard. It is literally a matter of getting under your feet just the idea that you are making a machine that does a metaphorical, not a little. You're making a metaphorical machine that follows logical rules. And that is pretty much it. Once you get that in your head, everything else kind of comes together. It's a lot of if you do this, then this happens. If you do this, then this happens. That is really all that goes into making games. Thank you, Saribot. Okay, so, all right. Back is updated, so now it's time for me to find us somebody to go hang out. I want to go bother a black person. And I know that the last time I said that, Caldonan showed up, captured that, and like put it and made a clip out of that, I don't care. It's all good. Let me see. Haven't we gone? I know we've seen. I know that Silver is not on. I know that Silver is currently off a cooldown, but I know that we saw them relatively decent-ish. I do not think we have rated J-Rock in a while. Of the people who are on and available, I feel like J-Rock is one of the people that got pushed off the list a while back. So we're gonna go hang out with J-Rock the God. Mostly because he's also doing a sponsored stream for Dead by Daylight. I think he's using Lara Croft. So we're gonna go hang out with J-Rock while he does that. So links and stuff. Game analysis and design stuff. I do that over on cohost.org/SJ Says Games from time to time. And sometimes I talk about some of the behind the scenes stuff that's going on with like Shoot Lancer development past what y'all see here. Sometimes. And then sometimes I do game review things. Stream VODs will always be up at youtube.com/@SJSaysGames. Feel free to check them out. My Ko-Fi, if you want to support me in the stream but don't want to give money to Amazon and Jeff Bezos, is Ko-Fi is the Ko-Fi link. I was gonna say it out loud, but like it's also like in that corner. If you do a $5 a month subscription on Ko-Fi, I keep $4 and change out of it. Way better, a way better deal for me than Twitch is. So keep that in mind. If you want to support the stream by virtue of, hey, I want to help SJ like get a hold of things like an Elgato Stream Deck or other tools that you can use to organize the apartment and house. If stream gifts are your thing, like if gifts for the streamer are your thing, including helping to crowdfund some of them, go to my throne. It has that stuff there. My card has all my other social media links, but really, you're only probably going to find me mostly at co-host. And then if you want to know more about Munity, which is the games co-op, yes, we are wrapping. The games co-op that I am working to make Shoot Lancer with, I'm one of the founding members. Our website is at munity.games. If you want to join our Patreon, either as a free patron or a paid patron, patreon.com/munity is where you want to go for that. And then if you want to play the June version of Shoot Lancer, the July version, which is what I'm working on now, will be out at the end of the month. If you want to play the current June version of Shoot Lancer, go to unity.itch.io/shootlancer-prototype, and you'll get to play it there. So yeah, we're going to go raid J-Rock the God. Like I said, he's playing some Dead by Daylight. Looks like a sponsor stream. So if you're not good with like getting scared by things, Nightbot, we just talked about that. Hush. If you're not good at like dealing with scares and things like that, I completely understand. Feel free to like meet the tab when we head over. But given SH does raids when we get in, let them know who sent you, all that other stuff. Stream plans this week. I don't know. Maybe we play more Street Fighter 6 on Friday or Guilty Gear or something. 6 p.m. Eastern time. Same as always. I intend to actually play the section of Breath of Fire 4 that we're not supposed to be seeing on stream, off stream, so that we don't have to worry about it. That's going to be happening. So by the time we come back on Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern time, we have Breath of Fire 4 queued up again, past the really awkward part that I really wish 2000 Capcom had thought about better, but can't be helped. Next Wednesday is more game dev stuff. Probably more shooters. Thank y'all for coming by. Stay safe. Wash your hands, wear a mask, don't go outside if you don't have to. Be excellent. Back to bigots, racists, turfs, sexists, anti-queer folks, or Zionists. Your reminders. Black Lives Matter. Trans rights are human rights. Reproductive rights are human rights. Palestine, the Sudan, the Congo, and New Caledonia must all be free. That's kind of just how we roll. Thank y'all for coming by. Deeply appreciate it. Alright, I'm out. Catch y'all later. Bye.